apologies for the terrible hair. I have a comb with me. It was a lot worse, believe me. I cannot for the life of me keep it down or anywhere, and I just figured, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna try to look like Goku today because if you didn't know already by the title and the little intro, Akira Toriyama unfortunately passed away. He passed away March 1st, I believe. Yeah. There's specifics. I'll try to like find like a good video that covers it, and I'll link it down below. A lot of us got the news the night of March 7th. I woke up myself March 8th, like 12:30, and it bummed me out, man, and I don't want to talk about it. You know, I didn't want to be one of those people that just ran to the camera, like, you know, like tears in his eye. Like, I didn't cry, but like, I kind of felt like it the more I thought about it. Like, I do feel bad. Ultimately, I do. It sucks. Akira Toriyama, for those of you who, I doubt anybody doesn't know watching this, but he made Dragon Ball. He wrote it, he illustrated it, he's the mangaka. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, GT, Super, all the movies, all that good stuff. That's all his. He made it. He's the creator. He also created, I think it's called Dr. Slump, with Rayleigh, Penguin Village. They cross over with Dragon Ball here and there. She's in Tenkaichi 3. She's in Dragon Ball Super. I think she's in the original Dragon Ball too, in the Red Ribbon arc. He's made a few other things, but those are like his two most famous. Like, everybody knows him for that, especially Dragon Ball. Duh. Yeah, man, he was super important, not just to like the manga community, but to fiction in general. Like, we would not have One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, none of this, Jujutsu Kaitsu or whatever, like, I forget what it's called. All these great animes owe a thank you to Akira Toriyama, because he laid the groundwork. Even if you got inspired by like Bleach was inspired by Hakusho, which was inspired by Dragon Ball. So it's a chain reaction, you know. It's a butterfly effect. How many times have you seen cartoons or Western TV in general, like, where it's like they'll reference Goku, the gold hair, the Dragon Balls, the fucking... It's inescapable how important Akira Toriyama's influence was on all of us. And just hearing about his death, it was a shock, man. It was definitely out of nowhere. He was a healthy guy. From what I hear, he had like projects like coming at you like fast. Like, he was a hard worker. You know, he's got that little, I think, Dragon Ball Tykes or whatever, they're kids again. Tenkaichi 4 is coming out. Sparking, whatever it's going to be called, Sparking Zero. Super might come back. Man, he's on top of the world. We're in a Dragon Ball renaissance again, definitely. And him passing like so suddenly, it's not fair, man. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's... I got mad yesterday. I got sad. I did all my thinking yesterday, and today I just wanted to talk about it. Today's vlog day. Hey guys, how you doing? But today I'm gonna talk about Akira Toriyama. I don't know too much about him, to be frank. I do know he was very camera shy. He would talk with he wouldn't use his photos too often. He'd have this little like avatar. It looked like the little thing from Teletubbies that would like eat up the cookie crumbs. Like, he had like a vacuum nose or like a gas mask. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know too much about him, the man per se, but I do know that he a lot about his work, a lot about Dragon Ball. I can tell you that. And yeah, man, like, it just sucks. So today I just want to kind of talk about Dragon Ball. Maybe you guys could share your Dragon Ball stories. And a quick shout out to people that mean a lot to me. I want to appreciate them while they're still here, because you never know, man. Like, I could not wake up tomorrow. So just, you know, waking up and finding out that he's gone, and it was just so sudden. It was I don't know how to explain it, man. It's not fair. I want to take a quick shout out to thank out. I want to take a quick moment to shout out and thank Sonic Toast. Man, you are like the grandfather of Sonic, as far as I'm concerned, on this YouTube channel, on this YouTube platform. Like, we owe thanks to you. You're like another influential member, you know, like, you're important. And I just want you to know you are appreciated. You matter to us, you know. Thank you for that. Adam with Slapdog, if you're somehow watching this, man, your Bridge series, you don't know how important that is. I want to thank Team 4 Star. I want to thank Little Karibo. I want to thank Forest Fire 101. And man, there's like so many people. I'll be here all day, but just take a moment to appreciate people that mean a lot to you in your core, and just like they're here still, so appreciate it. Make that effort to like know who they are and let them know what they mean to you, if that makes any sense. Anyways, I discovered Dragon Ball when I was, I want to say 3 or 4, maybe 2 even. I was born in 1995. I'm a September baby. I was a big fan of Cartoon Network as a kid. That was like the main thing I would watch. Bugs Bunny. I'd watch like Scooby-Doo, all that stuff in the morning. Tom and Jerry. Towards the middle of the day, it'd be Courage Cowardly Dog, Ed and Eddie, Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo. And then in the night, it was before Adult Swim was even a thing, but we had Toonami, we had Cartoon Fridays. Toonami was like this anime block. I remember the original, to my knowledge, it was Sailor Moon, followed by Reboot, which is some 3D show. I didn't really like it too much. I'd watch it though. It was Dragon Ball Z, and then Roland Warriors. I look forward to all those shows, especially Dragon Ball Z though. And when I started watching Dragon Ball, I think it was maybe the Namek Saga. I don't know. I do remember those old school Ocean dubs, because back in the day, Dragon Ball Z, it was a manga first and foremost, but when it became an anime in Japan, they'd speak in Japanese, and if we wanted to watch it over here, we needed subtitles so we can know what the hell they're saying. It would be English sub, Japanese voices. Obviously that's not going to fly on like a standard, Western audience, but especially back in 98, 96, they dubbed it, and that's when you basically take what they're saying and you kind of, you translate it to English. There's good dubbing, there's bad dubbing, there's localizing, there's just translating. All I know is it was in development hell. There was like the big green dub, the ocean dub, the blue water dub. There was all these different dubs, the Funimation dub. Funimation even had 2 versions. There was there's 3 versions, because there's a Kai. Oh my god. I don't even know where to start. I guess the ocean dub was what I grew up with. Those first couple of years, because I remember Vegeta. I loved Vegeta and Goku's voice. I didn't like it at first, but now it's grown on me. But I loved Vegeta's, like, to me, I felt like when you're to 19, 20, your voice is a little more higher pitched. Like, just listen to like Eminem, compare his like Infinite album to like Not Afraid, to like Recovery, and compare that to like Godzilla. Like, there's always like this like deeper, your voice changes, look at Carrie Fisher, the girl who played Leia, compare her like Leia voice to like her older Leia voice. It's gonna change, your voice changes. So I liked the fact that Goku sounded real refreshed, like in the blue water dub. I loved Krillin's voice. I liked a lot of their voices. So by the time we got to the Buu Saga, which is what I remember the most, they sounded deeper. They sounded like men now. Like it's been 15 years. That's another thing I really liked about Dragon Ball. The characters would age. Gohan starts off 4.5, and by the end of the show, he's he's got a kid. Like his kid's 4.5. He's in his late 20s, right? I started watching Dragon Ball with the Ocean dub. I think it was the Namek Saga though. I don't remember. I remember those episodes though. I remember Vegeta talking to Kui, like threatening him, and I remember some of the Raditz and the Goku stuff. But it's all a blur. I was too young. I do remember the Funimation dub a lot. Specifically the Buu Saga. It's weird. I watched the Buu Saga as it was coming on live. I think it was 2002, 2003. 2nd grade, 3rd grade. When Buu like hatched out of his egg. I'll tell you right now. Because I got Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1 on the PS2. This came out... Okay, 2002. When this game came out, the Buu Saga was starting. It says 2002. Who knows when it actually came out, though? Because you got to remember, games and toys, they say 2002, but they come out 2003, whatever. I got this game Christmas or my birthday. I don't remember. This isn't my original copy. I lost the cases. I have 2 copies. I have this, and I have the old school disc I grew up with. It's packed away somewhere. I got this game, and they were already starting the Buu Saga, but I remembered all this. And what's funny is I can't remember watching the Funimation Cell Saga and too many of those Frieza episodes. I remember them though. I know I watched them. I remember remembering them, if that makes any sense. the way I really like got my Dragon Ball fix though was this game. This game goes from Raditz all the way to the Cell Saga. And I remember vaguely the anime, but this is what I remember the most. This is how I got my Dragon Ball Z story told to me. This game was it's amazing. This is like one of my favorite games of all time. From like age 6 to about, because I haven't played this game since I was like 19, 20 maybe. I don't remember. I tried replaying it. But not counting that, my childhood, being 5 all the way to 18, like a young man, maybe 20 hours, which isn't a lot, but this is a small game. You could beat this game in like 5 hours, honestly. I love that game so much. And when the sequel came out, I have the sequel. I just don't have a box. I don't have it up on the collection shelf. You know, like the worthy games. I guess I have a whole pile of discs. I have like a good 50 discs, I think, without a box. GameCube, PS2, all that stuff. Anyways, Budokai 2, I put a lot of hours into too, and that game goes up to the Buu Saga, the ending, and that was 3rd grade. I remember that for sure. I think I beat it in 4th grade though. But anyways, man, like Dragon Ball Z video games, their music was amazing. The cutscenes are great. I like that little board game aspect. I didn't have Budokai 3, but I do have Tenkaichi 1 and 3. There's Budokai. Before we get to the Tenkaijis, I also did have what was it called? Battle Ultimate 22. So that game was pretty fun, but I only put like 5 hours into that game. I'm not gonna lie. I never unlocked nothing. I just played with my cousins when they came over. I had Legacy of Goku, lost it. I got pretty far in that game. Oh, I have Dragon Ball Sagas too somewhere. That game was I remember renting that game, and my parents separated when I was like 5. Well, like, you know, decided not to be a couple no more. My dad picked me up, and we rented games from Blockbuster back when that was a thing. And the game that I chose was Dragon Ball Z Saga. So me, my sister, and his new kids, which are also my siblings, we all played that together. And that was a lot of fun. And I saw it one day at Best Buy in like a little bargain bin for like $5. I think I was like 16 at the time. And I was like, hey, I remember this from when I was like 12 or 10 or whatever. Like, we should buy this. And I bought it, and I beat it. It was a lot of fun. It's a terrible game, honestly, but I love it. Anyways, besides those two and Legacy, I got Tenkaichi 1 and 3. I got this for Christmas. I think I was like in 8th grade. This is from 2005, 2006. Okay, so I must have been in 7th grade. I think I got it after. This game I beat almost 100%. An easy 100 hours, I'd say, that I put into this game. Because I would die a lot, and I'd get pissed off, and I'd be like, fuck, like, I need to find the Dragon Balls, and god damn it, man, that was such a fun game. This game right here, I'd say I'd put a good 200 hours into. Tenkaichi 3, it was my sister's birthday, and what year was this? 2007? So it must have been 9th grade, I think. Yeah, I think I was in high school. And I was like, what? They're still making PS2 games? That's so old. I remember thinking that in 9th grade, which is dumb, you know? Because anyways, we bought her gifts, and I was looking at this, and she's like, you want that, huh? And I was like, yeah. So my grandma bought it for me just because, and I was like, oh, cool. And man, I did not realize like how expensive this game is. I am so grateful I took care of it. I have the manual, everything's all nice. A little faded, but this is my collection. Like, this ain't going nowhere. This is not getting sold. And they go for like $200. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, no, like, that's too much for a game. Hopefully when Tenkaichi 4 comes out, the price goes down so people have a chance to play it. There's also the Wii version, which I was always curious about, because I wanted to play online with people. They got rid of that, obviously, in like, I don't know how long it's been. I think it was like 2015 or something. There's a way to hack your Wii and play online with people. But anyhow, I've always been curious about like the Wii motion, like punching and doing the Kamehameha and all that. That sounds like fun. So that's my history with the games. I do have Xenoverse 1. No, I have Dragon Ball Z Fighters, Battle of Gods, whatever. I bought that game day one because I was really hyped. I was like, it gave you a chance to get Super Saiyan Bardock and Goku dressed as a ninja as Naruto. I didn't know how DLC worked at the time. I thought if you missed it, that's it, you're fucked. No, like, you could go back and buy stuff most of the time. There was some DLC that's once it's gone, it's gone. But for the most part, you could go and I could buy it today, I'm pretty sure. So I bought that game. I got up to the Frieza arc. I didn't like it. It was weird. Like, I just did not like the controls. I wanted more Budokai, you know? That's exactly why I skipped Burst Limit and the PSP games. They were cool, but they were just like Diet Budokai. I wanted Tenkaichi 4, or I wanted the next thing now, you know, like whatever. Um, I bought Xenoverse. No, I got Xenoverse 2 as a gift for Christmas. Created my character, messed around with it. It was better, but it still didn't hit the spot. So for a while, I haven't played Dragon Ball games. I played a little bit of Fighters. That game was pretty fun, but it's a real Street Fighter Tekken kind of game, and I'm not really that. I know Budokai 1, where is it at? Is kind of like a real Street Fighter game, as was Ultimate 22, but it was simple. It was like, this was like baby's first Street Fighter, which is why I liked it a lot. I'm sure if I put the time and energy, I could figure out how to play Fighters. It's just, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm hoping Tenkaichi 4, Sparking Zero, whatever they call it, when it comes out, I actually get that game. And I'm really betting on that game hard to make me love Dragon Ball Z games again. I want to talk about Team 4-Star later in this video, but I also want to keep it like strictly on the man's legacy on Akira Toriyama. I do remember the action figures. I had the Irwin toys, and there was another one. I had all the action figures. I had all of them. I have a bag of them somewhere around here. I should have got them out for the video. They're like under my bed. I have a crap ton of bins. Long story short though, every birthday, Christmas, Easter, just because I was good, I would get Dragon Ball Z toys. I had Cell. He had like blue skin. I remember that. That was pretty cool. I had Videl. She came with a little baby dragon. I had Goku, Gohan. I had all the main characters you could possibly want. I remember too, my favorite toys were these Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta, where you would put on this rubber suit on them. They could only move their arms, their heads, and their legs, like back and forth like that. But you would try to fit this outer shell made out of rubber. You'd fit it on them, so that way they're in their normal clothes, right? But once you put this rubber on them, it's basically another action figure now. It's like they're Super Saiyan. Maybe I'll put a picture right here somewhere or something of how they used to look. I got those for like a birthday in elementary school. When I had just started middle school, I went shopping at Walmart. I was like, Mom, look, like they made Gohan. You know, that's so cool. She was like, oh, buy it. Yeah, go for it. So I got Gohan, and those rubber toys. I remember being like 7 or 8 years old and chewing on them. Like I was a little stupid kid, and I remember like just playing with them too. Like before doing that, and like the paint would like kind of come off because they're rubber. Paint on rubber doesn't work well. Like you could stretch the rubber like an Armstrong, and like when you put it back together, their faces would be like all like, you know, affected. So they didn't last too long. But the toys themselves, the figures are really fun. I had a giant TN about this tall, maybe like 10 inches. He was a doll. And man, trip out on this. I used to have fun adventures with them, right? Like I would make them fight each other, whatever. But let's say if I had Goku, Piccolo, and Vegeta, I wanted them to fight Frieza. I have a Frieza action figure, but it's his first form. Okay, now he's going final form. I don't have a final form Frieza. What do? Oh, cool. I have this little chameleon, you know, this action figure. That's going to be Frieza. I want them to fight Broly. Cool. I got this really buff Eddie Guerrero. That's going to be my Broly. If I wanted Chaozu and Tien to join the fight, I had this Dollar Tree Kung Fu Man, which I think it's still somewhere under my bed. Frick. I have my old school childhood toys all in a market bag about this big. They could probably like fill up 2 of these boxes. But they're under my bed instead of a big bin of keepsakes. So it's like my yearbooks and my my cap and gown. But anyways, I had this Dollar Tree Kung Fu bald man that I saved. He was in all black, and I would pretend that was Tien. And I had this little Scooby-Doo action figure. It was Steve from Blue's Clues, like just kind of chibi. That was Chaozu. Man, I would make do. And there's something else I want to show you guys. Back when I was a kid, I used to draw paper dolls. One of my favorite things to do as a kid was to draw. I really like drawing my cartoon heroes like Ed and Eddie. I would draw South Park. I draw everything. Mario. Dragon Ball Z was no different. I remember I tried to draw every single character imaginable. Chaozu, Tien, Puar, Oolong, Videl, all the girls Gohan went to high school with, the regular villager kids. I tried to draw that. They didn't work. And I would lose patience because I had to make sure they were perfect. And some of these characters were super hard to draw. There's Goku. This guy took me like 18 attempts, I remember. And, man, I got so complicated with them. Like, if you look at, like, one of the first ones I remember drawing, it was Yamcha and Tien. I just wanted to get, like, my favorite humans out the way. So if you look at Yamcha, Ah, man, maybe I gotta turn off, like, the brightness or something, huh? Oops. Yeah, like, look at him, man. Like, he's very, like, you could tell, like, a 11-year-old drew this, a 10-year-old. I didn't even draw the symbol correctly. I just drew, like, some peace and love sign. And then if you look at somebody like Goku, I guess, you can see, like, I actually attempted to draw the kanji, like, the right way. I got super complex with these, man. Like, I drew him barefoot because I always wanted an action figure of this Goku from that Raditz fight. I just love that whole, like, idea of taking off some armor. And, like, Piccolo, I love that shit. I do that all the time. Like, I did that a couple times at a tournament in Smash Brothers. I was facing this really cool guy. I was like, man, you know what I'm going to have to do? I took off my jacket, I took off my beanie, and I'm like, I'm going to pull a Piccolo. And everyone starts laughing. But, like, I meant that shit. I was like, I'm going to sit up straight. I'm going to look at the screen. I'm going to focus. I'm not going to talk. Like, you get into a different mindset. So I could only imagine when it comes to fighting, you know? So that's why that shit always made me kind of, like, geek out. But, like, I got complex with these guys. Look at, I put tape because I knew I would grab them from here. If I grabbed them without the tape, it would smear because my sweat. I drew him boots, but I lost them. I drew all kinds of stuff. Look at this kid Goku I drew. I made him a power pole. I wrapped red paper, like, together and taped it behind him. And then I made him a power pole separately so I could take it out, have him hold it, and then when I wanted to, I could just put it back. Like, oh, man. And then their tails, like, I would draw his tail, like, you can't see that shit. That's way too small. Like, right there by his left arm right here, there's a little brown stub. I draw the tail, like, coming out of him like it was, like, poop or something. But then when I cut him out, I'd fold it. So it was behind him now. Like, I got really complicated with these guys to the point where I was considering, like, making articulation. One of the last guys I can remember drawing was this guy. I came home one day and I was like, oh, I'm going to make all the Brolys. I'll start with Bio Broly. He's easy. So here's, like, what I'm talking about. Like, I would just, like, so I could, like, have them grab his tail. Like, it, you know what I mean? Like, it added this kind of, it almost fooled me into thinking I was, I was actually playing with figures. My sister made me all the cells. So here's one of them. I used to like the way she drew Cell. That's why. So there's a tail so he could do his thing. We drew the back of these guys. I would draw them, like accessories. I remember I was thinking of a way to, like, somehow draw the forearm and, like, kind of put, like, a little metal thing and, like, have them articulate. I was getting really complicated with these things. I was also becoming a teenager, so I stopped. I was discovering friends and girls and shit. Like, I was like, oh, you know, like, I want to be like them. There were 14-year-olds I knew that had kids, you know, so I was like, here I am still playing with paper dolls. Like, what? But yeah, I've saved those just because I want to do a video on those things someday. Maybe I'll go, like, real in depth with them. But, man, I'm telling you, man, Dragon Ball meant a lot to me. And it still does today. I'm in debt because I buy Dragon Ball Z action figures. Here's 3 of the newest ones I bought. Maybe I'll do a video on these guys and, you know, talk a little more about Dragon Ball Z. They've been in the box because I've been wanting to do a video. I just wish it was on more pleasant circumstances, you know? And, yeah, man. Dragon Ball is a big part of my life. Always has, always will be. I've always took comfort knowing that he was still alive. I remember when Adam West passed away, I Googled, like, a lot of my favorite people. Like Charles Martinet. I Googled Akira Toriyama. I Googled Robert De Niro. Frick, he's, like, in his 90s, you know? So I always prayed that, like, these people will last a long time. And maybe if I was lucky enough, I got a chance to meet them, shake their hands, trade some ideas. There goes one more person I won't be able to do that with. And I'll never be able to tell him thank you for this, you know, for the memories. Hundreds of hours on a game. Freaking countless birthdays. I'm playing action figures of your characters. Freaking, I'm drawing characters here. I'm coming home from school after a bad day and just putting on my favorite game, looking at Goku, drawing the back of him, you know, trying to get it right. I had posters in my room. I had Dragon Ball freaking pajamas. I jam out to the music when I work out. As a 28-year-old man, I'll put on Dragon Ball Z music. One of the last songs I was listening to from Dragon Ball that I can remember was from Xenoverse 2, when he created a character. I was just working. Like, I'm there in the hospital sweeping. I'm doing my thing. And, you know, and I owe a huge thanks to this man. And I won't be able to tell him thank you. Real quick to end this out, I do want to say a little funny thing. I don't know if I talked about this yet, but I did watch the Spanish dub of Dragon Ball Z. My great grandma, when she was still alive, she would call me. I was about like 6. Mijo, like, come on, like those kids with the gold hair. You like, are on what kid? What are you talking about? Yeah, the ones with the gold. I was like, okay, I come, and it's the Dragon Ball Z Spanish dub on, what is it called? Upidad? I don't know, like Television, Telemundo, whatever. That little, I'll put a logo right here of the little red, green, blue, and green, I guess, like the little logo. It looks like Windows. We'd watch that, and I have no idea what they were saying, but I was like this, like watching the fight scenes, because these are all the episodes I've missed. It was usually the early Saiyan saga that she would call me for, and I made a friend because of that. And when I was working at Ross Dress for Less, this girl Lizette, I was like, "Did you ever watch the Spanish Dragon Ball Z?" Oh my God, yes! Like, blah blah blah. And like, man, so I owe my great grandma a thank you for that one, and I owe my hero Akira Toriyama a thank you for that too, because I don't know, man. It just, I've had so many dreams where I could fly, I could turn Super Saiyan. You know, I've did a Kamehameha. You know, like, and they're always pretty cool. And I always have the same nightmare where like it happens. One in particular, I remember in 4th grade I had it. I was fighting somebody, and I finished them off with a blast, somebody bad. And I was telling my friends what I did yesterday, which was basically, look guys, I could do it. And I'm trying to do it and I can't. And then they're laughing at me. And then in my pocket I got a Trunks and a Goten action figure, and I'm like, oh, maybe I dreamt it up. I don't know. Yeah, man, but to end it out, I just wanted to say that as a kid, though, going back to my great grandma, I remember being really afraid of heaven and how, like, not going to hell. How do I get into heaven? How do I not let Jesus down, you know? And what kind of helped, I guess, mitigate that pressure and just make me enjoy life and look forward to, like, the afterlife was Akira Toriyama. I took really, really big comfort in knowing that it was a possibility that Snake Way was up there. Like, we'd die and we'd have to stand on Snake Way and be judged. And according to what I've read, like, a lot of Japanese culture does believe in Koenma and King Yama. I don't know if that's their names or whatever, but you are judged. You're a soul. And then this big old, like, ogre guy decides, do you go down to hell or heaven? What level of hell? Do you go to where it just itches all the time? Do you go to where you're cooked? Do you go to where it's permanent pain limbo? Do you go up to heaven where you're, like, do you get reincarnated? Do you, like, chill up there with your loved ones? Do you have to do work up there? Like, what do you know? And there's usually, this long line. The river Styx, I guess you would call it. Yu Yu Hakusho is another great example of the afterlife. But Akira Toriyama's depiction or whatever, his idea of it, King Kai, you know, the whole, it felt comfortable. And it made me, like, not be afraid to, like, do stupid stuff. Because for the longest time, it stood around, definitely, into my teens and early teens, late teens, where I was afraid to do certain things, read certain things, say certain things, because I thought it would be a ticket to hell. One of the few things, I don't want to get into that 100%, but there are a few things that I think definitely are a ticket to hell. You know what they are, you know. I'm not going to mention them here, but I don't have to worry anymore, because I really felt safe. I was like, another thing I owe a big thanks to is Akira Toriyama helped influence Sonic the Hedgehog. Definitely, without a doubt. If you play Sonic the Hedgehog 3, for example, when you go Super, there's 7 Chaos Emeralds, there's 7 Dragon Balls. There's Goku, goes Gold and Super, just like Sonic. Same carefree attitude, all about the speed and the fight. Shadow and Vegeta, 2 perfect edgelords, you know, like you got Piccolo and Knuckles, you got Tails and Krillin. Like, there's just too many similarities. And I think it's a safe bet to say Dragon Ball definitely played a huge influence in Sonic, which is one of my main things, what I became known for here on this channel. Well, my main channel. I owe a thank you to you for that. And yeah, man, and the whole one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube here, 2 of my favorite things. The first one I'm thinking of is Super Mario Bros. Z. Duh, that's Dragon Ball Z, you know, that wouldn't be a thing without Sonic, Mario, and Dragon Ball. So I owe a huge thank you to Akira Toriyama for that, for the countless hours. And also to Team 4-Star. There would be no Team 4-Star without Akira Toriyama. And that YouTube channel alone, it's probably like it's definitely in the top 3. YouTube channels that mean the most to me, that basically without them, I don't know how I would like have coped with certain things. I used to do homework and I'd watch the Frieza Namek saga while they were still dubbing that, in high school. I remember working and, talking to my friends about the Broly movie at McDonald's. Like, oh, did you see it, bro? They finally did it. I remember being disappointed, when they ended the show. I remember being happy when I saw the boo bits, and none of that would be possible without Akira Toriyama. And this right here, this whole, all of this right here, like, thank you.